this is definitely not the perfect barefoot hoof. Um, but my friend's horse also had contracted heels, and but his look a lot better now. All she did though was just treat the thrush in the middle,
Hmm.
um, and his sort of widened out a bit, and he doesn't have the heel buttresses on my mare just curve towards each other. Her
Yeah.
horse doesn't have that same problem.
Yeah.
So I don't think she was starting on such a hard thing, but he's got very high heels.
Hmm.
But I mean that's probably fine. I mean he's got high heels, and I don't think his frog fully touched. It's about would be in line with tact. Actually, he's
Yeah.
probably got good feet, but she thinks his feet are awful, and my horses are brilliant, and I'm like mine are not brilliant. But she's like a 13-year-old ex broodmare at this point. I don't think she's ever properly been looked at in terms of
Yeah.
looking at her feet.
Hmm.
And she's never had much intervention, so they've just grown as they've grown. But yeah, we'll see.
I'm back. But I've just
Hello.
been listening to you guys talk and
Yeah.
stuff. See, so I was telling Aaron before you came, Amber, that one of the things I'd like to do is you two meeting each other and kind of become trim partners to be able to talk on Messenger if you want,
That'd
and
be
to be
great.
able
Yeah.
to encourage each other and things like that. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to record these sessions and one of the things I want to do, I want to make sure that you know how to do a correct basic farrier trim in using the tools in leveling the foot, just like you would level it for a shoe, but especially in understanding how to rasp down around the toe and shape the toe quarters, because that is the place where you're going to make it or break it a lot of time in bleh, times in these tramps. And even farriers, for the most part, do not know how to rasp down, how to correctly rasp and shape the sides of the toe, which they call the toe quarters or the pillars, in order to keep the toe in the correct shape so that your pillar walls don't get too high and eventually you wind up with a square toe or a round toe. What's more is because those horn tubules have to be a certain length and a certain angle. If they get too long, well, that's when you'll see that the wall will start jamming up, and you'll see it where sometimes it'll jam clear up into the hairline, and you'll see the hairline in the toe quarter get higher than it's supposed to be. You'll also, I don't know if you've been introduced to uh, horizontal growth rings, how to be able to
Mm.
read the horizontal growth rings.
Hmm.
Okay. So I really want to be able to just really focus on you two and teach you everything I know and record it, and then I can retire. Okay.
I don't have a problem with that at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, willing to learn and try at least.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, so what we're gonna do here. So are you two okay with that? And you two okay with supporting one another, helping one another, encouraging one another? Being
Yeah, I love that.
okay. Okay, that's awesome.
Yep.
And what we're gonna do now. Now I'm recording this on a
Hmm.
different I can't record on my computer. So I am recording it on a channel of mine that nobody watches. Okay. And then I will go and I will make it private. All right.
Hmm.
And so, because what I want to do, I want to go through these sessions for like the next 8 weeks, and I'm going to do some videos for you. I'm going to just solely concentrate on trying to help you with everything I know and get it together so that we can also take this and be able to help others with it. And
Hmm.
so when we get together, any problems you're having, we'll discuss, we'll go through and we'll evaluate all the hooves. Each one of you will share your testimony of the problems you've had, where you are at in your trimming, things like that. And and in the long run, this is we're going to use this to try and help other people. Does that sound okay to you?
I think it sounds great.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, sounds good. I won't be here for a couple of weeks in March off on holiday. But yeah, apart
Okay.
from that,
Okay,
I'm up
that's
for it.
fine. That's fine because we'll still do these and you can still submit pictures if you want, and we'll still, and then you just watch the video.
Yeah, that
How would
sounds good.
that be?
Thanks.
Okay.
That sounds good. Thank you. Yeah, any help
Okay.
would be appreciated.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so of course I had started out talking about some of the history. We'll go into that later and stuff, but what I'd like you to do now is I'd like each one of you to share about your life, your experience with horses, the trimming, the experiences you've had, problems with their feet, how much experience you have in trimming, and just kind of give your testimony if you don't mind, and tell me about your horses. So
Okay.
we could go in alphabetical order. We'll go with Amber.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Wait, was I first? Sorry,
Oh,
it's
yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Amber.
yeah, yeah. So I'm Amber in the UK. I've been riding since I was 8. Took a break when I went to university. Got back into horses 3, 4 years ago now, and I've been doing endurance riding in the UK. So I have a 13-year-old Arab mare. She's an ex-brood mare, and we've been doing rides up to 65 kilometers successfully. She's always been barefoot, never had a shoe on her. She was completely just a field ornament for the first 10 years of her life. No one sat on her. I don't know what happened to her farrier wise in those 10 years. I just know she was a brood mare, had 2 foals, and sat in a field. So we got her 3 years ago now and have mostly been trimming her like ourselves. Just my friend's husband's been doing like just rasping around, but he doesn't really have much knowledge. Um, and I think the farrier has occasionally seen her when he's been showing like another horse on the yard, and I think he has. I did see once he definitely took her heels down a bit at
Mhm.
one point. It wasn't helpful, and the farrier we have doesn't know anything about tact or is in line with it. He just makes it look pretty, like just
Yeah.
does stuff to it, and it doesn't really help. Like he had an abscess last December, so that's mainly when he looked at her. I don't
Mhm.
think he's seen her since last December, at least. So that's been a good year now that he's not seen her. Um, but he's not helping the situation when he does see her.
Okay.
So I know she's got very contracted heels. I don't know. She's always been, at least looking at pictures back from we've had her for 3 years, they always have looked to be contracted. So not sure how it happened.
So
But
did you say they always looked uncontracted or decontracted and now they are contracted? Is that what you're saying?
I think they've been getting worse over the 3 years we've had her,
Okay.
but I think
Okay.
when she came, they were starting to contract. And her hind feet, I'm talking about her front feet, they are the most contracted. Her hinds are a lot better, but I have noticed since I've been learning about tact that they also look like they're starting to contract in a bit.
Okay.
Um, so I need to definitely learn about how to sort of open up those heel bulbs again.
Okay.
And also just, I think it's about keeping the toe in line as well, because on her back feet, she has very square toes because she drags them sometimes down a hill, whereas her fronts are a lot more round. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. That's just a brief summary. I don't know how she's been surviving barefoot endurance. We sometimes use hoof boots,
Mm-hmm.
but she's quite good, really. But I do notice now, like I've been filming her, and she does land toe first rather than
Mm-hmm.
heel first on her fronts. So I do wonder if there's some pain starting from just how they look, really.
Yeah, I can understand that. And then what kind of experience at all do you have in trimming? Has it always been somebody else or?
It's usually been someone else. I've only started sort of doing it myself for a couple of months now, and I'm not the most knowledgeable at all. I definitely need to learn about these toe pillars and the right angles you were talking about, because I think
Okay.
that's a lot to do with and the horizontal growth lines as well. She's
Okay.
definitely got they kind of like curve upwards on the inside, so I think yeah, I'm not doing that correctly. But yeah, I've only done rasping and hoof knife. I've never done like clippers or anything, but I don't think she needs to have any big bits clipped off.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, kind of I'd say a beginner beginner in doing it myself.
Okay. Great. Great. Well, yeah, what you're going to find out in the end here is that it's probably a good thing that her feet weren't messed with very much,
I
you
hope
know?
so. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
She's she's
definitely.
always she's always sort of adapted herself, I guess, and her feet have grown to how she uses them.
Hmm.
So at least she's not seen, at least I don't think she's seen too many farriers, and it's good she's never had shoes as well. That's the reason we can keep her barefoot is because she doesn't know
Yeah.
what she's missing and she's not been messed around with too much.
Now, did you send pictures of the mare too, or just of the feet? I should have had the feet up here at least while we were doing this.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't think I've sent a full body picture really, actually. I just sent the
okay.
feet.
Okay. Could you
She's very
also,
pretty.
okay, could you get us some pictures of the mare herself? We're gonna want to look at the overall horse and
Do you want
and
do you want like conf from you don't do you want pictures of just like her standing, or is it just
yeah,
general pictures of her?
just anything, just so
Yeah.
yeah, standing would be good, you know.
Where
And
should I put them?
at some
Mhm.
point, if you have somebody lead her or something, get a video of her walking, like walking by and then walking away. I'd like to see how she walks in the rear end,
Yeah, I
you
could
know.
put my phone on the floor and just video her walking away
Yeah,
from the camera, if or on a chair.
okay.
I could do that maybe tomorrow. Yeah, where should I send the pictures?
Let's see.
Do-do-do.
I'm gonna go ahead and open up just a second here. I'm gonna go ahead and open up Facebook
Yeah, there's a lot of
so I can
pictures of her on
just
Facebook. I
have your
sent
pic.
everything I could find. But I realized I haven't taken lots of pictures of her feet over the past 2 years, like the earlier years of
Pictures
having her,
ready here.
especially.
Um, just a second. Okay, there.
I
Open a
think
messenger. There
more.
we go. Yeah, I'm getting on your page now to look. Okay. Okay. So what we will do is we're going to go through that. Um, we're going to go through that here after a bit here. Just a second here. Okay, I lost you guys. Hold on.
Yeah, we
I'm on
can't
my
see.
computer. So, oh, there you are. Okay. So, let's see. Okay, so is there anything else that we need to know? How old is the mare?
She's 13 this year.
13. Oh,
And she's only been back since she was 10, 11, 10 really.
uh-huh. Well, she's
And
just in her prime.
yeah, she's in her prime at the moment. We're hoping to have a good endurance season. Um, she's built a lot of muscle since getting her. A lot of my pictures of her, she looks so skinny and small. But we've been
Uh-huh.
really working on. She's built a lot of top line and looks a lot better. I don't have many recent pictures of her top line, unfortunately, but
That's okay. Um, well, that's the perfect kind of horse for an endurance horse too.
yeah,
Having that Arab in them. So, okay.
yeah,
Aaron,
she's full Arab.
okay, and we'll look at your hoof pictures after we hear from Aaron and kind of
Yes.
what her experience is. Okay. Okay,
Hi.
Aaron.
I took riding lessons in my teenage years, and I didn't get my first horse until I was 27, and that's my off-track thoroughbred. I've had him since he was 5, and he's 19 now.
Wow.
And then I bought a Clydesdale 6 years ago,
Wow.
and they've been barefoot. Well, my off-track thoroughbred's been barefoot for about 8 or 9 years, and my Clydesdale's been barefoot since I've gotten him. But yeah, my when I got my off-track thoroughbred, he had shoes on his front feet, and me just not knowing what any good it was having shoes on or not, I just kept continuing with the shoeing. And then, over time, my husband's like, why does he even need shoes? the shoes kept pulling off. So when I boarded him for a few years, and then finally when I bought a place I could bring him home, I had the shoes pulled and have had him off since, and he's never taken a lame step, and he's never had an abscess or anything. But I've looked ever since I've been learning how to trim since June. I've been doing a lot of studying. I started with the Essential Hoof book, just learning anatomy and all that. And
Mm-hmm.
then, in that book, I'm sure you've heard of it. It's got all these other names, Gene Ovnick and Pete Ramey and all that. So I kind of
Yeah.
like studied their methods, and I even read another Pete Ramey book. And then I, kept seeing David Landerville, and so I started following him. I even subscribed for like a month or two and was just watching videos. And I after my trims, and when I was trying to apply some of the things that I was watching, my horses were kind of like sore. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so I came back to your page, and I was watching your stuff in between and stuff, but I was just like trying to understand just trying to take it all in and figure it out. And so I started leaving the heels alone, and addressing things like, and I mapped out and stuff initially. And I also what I found a friend of mine has had a farrier that taught her how to trim, and so she got me her contact, and so she follows your she's has the understanding of tact, and she's even you've even evaluated some of her stuff back I don't know, in the past few years. But so she's been out and taught me several times, and I've been kind of on my own since October. um but I've made so the biggest reason I wanted to learn was because of my Clydesdale.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Wisconsin and moved down to Tennessee 5 years ago, and I had a different barefoot trimmer up there, and I had no issues with lameness or anything with him up there. But then when I moved down here, and I stuck with a barefoot trimmer for 4 years, he was getting abscesses constantly, and the farrier just kept saying, well, you gotta, keep them off the grass and this and that. So I have changed, I've managed a routine that, um, so that he'd be on hay more and stuff. And I even changed his feed to, it's got only 6% between starch and sugar. So that's like the lowest like form of that I could find. And it was like designed by a vet, and it's like locally milled. So that I started that when I started trimming. So I think with the combination of the managing and with his feed and with more correct trimming, he's like more sound than he's ever been.
Have
So
you been like pretty much leaving his heels alone, trying to let them
yeah,
grow and give him a
yeah.
little bit of elevation?
Yeah, he's got over 3 inches in his heel. Because his feet are so big. I know in your videos you said when you're going from a horse to a pony, you go 1/4 inch less in your mapping, and then with the bigger horse, you want to go 1/4 inch. But he's like way bigger than that. So
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is this his feet here?
he doesn't fit any hoof boots. Like I would have to get
No.
him custom hoof boots that cost like $600 for a
Thousands.
pair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been trimming him every 3 weeks since I started, to really bring back the flaring in his long toes. And oh, you have the pictures pulled up. Okay.
Yeah.
I like wasn't paying attention to what you were looking at.
That's
Is this his
So,
okay.
feet?
you can see, yeah, I dated everything. And then I sent you pictures today. I took new pictures today. I sent those to
Okay.
you. Um, yeah, and what's I've been noticing that I've never had in the past is now he's got concavity and his whole foot fills with mud now.
His whole foot is what?
When I clean out the bottom of his foot, it's really muddy here now, and his
Mm-hmm.
whole
Wow.
foot gets caked in with mud.
Mm.
And
Okay.
before it didn't used to, it would just be in his
Wouldn't
collateral
stay in,
glue.
huh?
Yeah, his feet were very flat when I first started. And okay, so
Yeah, good.
that left
That's like
front,
triangular.
so that left front, he had an abscess that blew out last May. That was before I started trimming. I went on a trail ride at a friend's, and her property was a little rocky, but so he in those other pictures where it was like four pictures in each picture, you can see the hole in that foot.
Which
So
front?
it
The left
um
front?
e the left front, and that's the right front. So that's
Is it
the
this one?
left hind. That's left hind. So one
Oh,
more.
okay. Let's see. Oh,
That's Rossi.
Oh, we've changed breed.
Yeah. Okay.
left
No.
hind,
Yeah. Left
right
front.
hind. I don't know what to, right front,
Every foot but the one you want.
left front. There's the left
No.
front.
No.
No.
The one with the solar view. There's a. It's yeah. It might be in. Hey, shush. It's okay.
Mm, that's
That's
left
Anyway.
done.
front. There.
Anyway. Stop.
That's
Um.
today. Or that's, yeah.
That's
What is
today.
today?
So
Yep.
it blew out at the coronary band, and so it's finally growing out of the foot, the whole capsule.
Okay.
So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what you're seeing. It's the
Okay.
wall, the um, the hoof wall is starting to reattach to the sole now.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's looking really good.
Where was it at? Was it over here?
Yeah, where there was a his white line was his water line was stretched, or his white, yeah, so he
Uh-huh.
had bacteria got in and
Okay.
then blew out at the coronary band.
Ah, okay.
So
Okay. So, so you've been allowing his heels to grow for how long now?
several months.
Good. Good. And so he seems to be doing better just with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
with the concavity that's building now too, he had a lot of frog pressure. So I noticed with my last trimmer that he was taking care of him for 4 years. He did not take anything off the frog. And so it took me a while to get his frog to kind of like shrink down to that. Like it was way overgrown, and it was higher than the hoof wall.
Oh, wow. So he was just walking on his frogs.
Yeah, and so yeah, as he built concavity, it like I didn't even it never is over the taller than the hoof wall now. So
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, and then, so how do you feel about your skills and trimming and stuff like that?
hold on one second. My husband is getting ready to get to the airport. I'm gonna say goodbye real quick.
Okay, go right ahead. That's like me. Mine's at the doctor.
One's at hospital, one's at the airport.
Yeah, and stuff. Well, like these horses were never meant to walk on their frogs, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Um,
that's been a thing that's some farriers have said like, oh, you need them to get them to walk on their frog, but I'm not sure. I don't think that's gonna
yeah.
hurt them, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. They teach that, well, see, this false teaching, like you guys are going to learn exactly the history of this during this because you have to understand why these people teach what they do.
Yeah.
How it goes back in history, like I said, to 1754. And even before that, to the overall philosophy of science that developed since this real creep by the name of Rene Descartes that everybody just lauds to heaven and down and stuff. But he developed this whole philosophy about animals that is the most atrocious thing you can even imagine. Um, he came up with this philosophy that uh, um, humans had souls and could
Mm-hmm.
feel pain, but animals couldn't. They
Oh,
didn't have a
what?
soul and they couldn't
Oh,
feel pain.
they could
And
definitely feel pain.
this was the philosophy that took over and that went right into the first vet schools.
Wow.
And so, it, it, he taught that that animals were just meat machines and that they couldn't feel pain. And so any squeaking or, you know, groans of agony were just the machine making a noise, a squeak. And so
Hmm.
that for 300 years, this is what was practiced over there, right where you are, you know, and then over here as well in the vet schools. And
They
so
just,
when
yeah.
they came up with this doctrine that, oh, we'll just take the heels down. Well, it's just a machine. It'll adapt. See what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
really feeling pain, you know? And
Hmm.
so they've been practicing the same thing ever since, this frog pressure doctrine. And then they came up with anatomical explanations for why this was so and what it would do. But they were all false. See, and so this is what we have established in the veterinary schools. And what they did when they instituted the veterinary schools, they were also doing away with the farrier guilds that had been practicing medicine and farriery on the horse for 2,500 years. And they had the ancient knowledge that kept horses sound. And the governments, kings, whatever, the farriers had a lot of well, that keeps the war machine going, right? And so these guilds had a lot of power and they made a lot of money and they had a lot of prestige. And so the object was to destroy the guilds and have the government take it over and institute the policies. And so that is why that's why everybody's horse is lame today, because this
Hmm.
is this is established in the educational system, you know. And it was like the last thing I ever wanted to learn about, believe me. But I just started studying the history of hoof care. I just kept getting led in that direction. Why do people believe this stuff?
Yeah.
The crazy doctrines that came out of the vet schools, the first vet schools, the first one in France, 1761, and then the London Veterinary College, the Royal Veterinary College, that was established in London in 1792. And through all of this, they established in farriery this frog pressure doctrine, just continued to take heels down until the frog is bearing weight. And now the same false doctrine presented in a different way that says, well, it pumps the foot, it pumps the frog, the pressure builds the foot. No, it doesn't. It destroys the foot. And so what you're going to learn here, like in detail, is exactly how the true foot works, why this doctrine, why all these people are teaching this. It's no different than, do you know who Ignaz Schimmelweiss is?
Mm-mm.
Well,
Mm-mm.
No.
you should, because you're probably alive because of him. So
What?
yeah, you're probably alive. We probably got born all because of this guy
Is he a
back
doctor?
in, yes, he was. Ignaz Schimmelweiss, it was back in the mid eight mid eight or maybe early, I'll have to get the date right, maybe 1830 something. I can't remember the exact date. Well, at that time, they had the medical school and the hospital right across the street from each other. And the doctors that were learning and stuff, they go over to the medical school and they do cadavers and dissections. And then they come back over to the hospital and they deliver babies. Well, there was this thing that started called childbed fever. And it was so bad, the mortality rate was so bad of women dying, babies dying, that it got so women would rather go have their babies in a gutter than go into one of these hospitals. So Ignaz Semmelweis, he was a Hungarian doctor, and he just started kind of putting two and two together that maybe they were bringing something back from the medical school over there where they're dissecting these cadavers that's infecting these patients. So he took several students that would come back from there and he made them wash their hands like crazy with chlorine and stuff like that. And the death rate went down something like 75% or some really high number. Well, so he meticulously documented this. Well, of course, you think doctors want to believe that what they've been doing's been killing their patients? Well, of course not, and stuff. So ultimately, what happened to Ignaz was they fired him. They kept on doing just what they were doing. And then it wasn't till like 20 some years later, some guy discovered germs. And then they discovered that they were bringing germs off those germs, bacteria, something off those dead bodies. And when they delivered those babies, it would get in these women's system and it would kill them. And it was called, they called it childbed fever, but it was called something else like pleural something fever. And so, because of him, many of us are alive that wouldn't necessarily be. And because of him, people wash their hands. The doctors wash their hands. Like in our hospitals here now, it's they have signs that says it's okay to ask your doctor if he washed his hands. How funny is that? But see, this is a true story. And so what we have in the hoof care industry is the equine equivalent to that. You know, false beliefs, false doctrines that crept into those schools. And let me tell you something. When academia comes to a conclusion that they think something is true and they teach it in their schools, it's worse than if they crawled up to Mount Sinai and got it written in stone by God Himself. Do you understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it gets taught and
Yeah,
repeated and it will never go away
exactly.
then. Yeah.
Oh, and they will defend it to the death. You know, they're going to
Yeah.
defend it. They're going to look for ways to defend it, for ways to get around it. And so that's what you have in the healthcare industry right now. Um,
Yeah.
and so I'm hoping, like I'm doing a book on the whole history of the thing, going to put a web page together on the whole history of the thing, and it's just really going to shock you. You know, all this over a horse's foot. My
Yeah.
goodness gracious, you know. Okay, so so tact anatomy is different. So there's some things that you need to become aware of, which is what I call the hoof wall grid, which is the vertical horn tubules and the horizontal growth rings. And so we're going to go through just a short lesson on that, and then we're going to look at your horse's feet in light of that.
Mhm.
And the big thing about this type of trimming too is to realize that you are not just dealing with one object, you are dealing with two objects. Yes, they are connected. Yes, the hoof wall, which is a capsule that comes off in one piece like a shoe. Yes, it is connected and grows from the inner foot, and that the horse has a foot in there that is covered with skin. And this is not something that they teach in regular farriery or barefoot trimming or anything like that. Um, because it's now, and I only found out by accident. Okay. I found out because I didn't know what I was doing, right? I wanted to do dissections. I didn't know what I was doing. And so the first few times I removed a hoof capsule was kind of funny. I mean, that thing was stuck on there. Yeah, I did all kinds of stuff. I like
Yeah.
stuck two posts in the ground and then put the foot between the posts and then tied a chain to the leg part and then jerked it off with the truck. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was all force. How do I get this off? Because I assumed this is what they did. I assumed they must take the capsule off, right? And so I tried to figure out a way to take the capsule off. And so it wasn't until finally I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna soak these feet. I started really soaking them a long time till the hair would come off. And then eventually I learned how if you get the frog loose, once the foot's a little rotten, and you get one heel loose, you can zip the thing right off the foot.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it comes off just like a shoe in one piece. Here we're gonna look at some here just a second here. So it comes off in one piece, and then I didn't know. I wanted to preserve them so I could look at them and study them and things like that. And I didn't really know how to do that. And so I would soak them in water. And what started happening was the blood. When you first take a capsule off, that foot is red, okay? And it looks bloody. But when it soaks in water for several days, the blood is totally gone and all the tissues turn the same color as the hide on the leg when the hair is removed. And so after doing this multiple times, I would dry out feet and they would turn to rawhide or they would turn to leather, depending on what I soaked them in. And so I started thinking, well, uh, if these are turning to rawhide or leather, then that means this is just skin,
Yeah.
you
Hmm.
know? And that's not the way it's looked at in traditional farriery. They call it corium, which is just a fancy word for skin, okay? But they still do not see it as skin. And let me get into some pictures here. Just a minute. They don't see it as skin. And let's see here. Hold on, let me find this here. Okay, I gotta share these. We'll look at some of these. Doop, doop, doop. They don't see it as skin. They see it as just tissue covering a coffin bone. Okay. And so because they do not see it as skin, and I proved it was skin because one day I was doing a dissection. Just a minute here. One day I was doing a dissection and I was thinking about this because I had these other feet around me that I dried out and things like that. And I thought, well, if this is leather and this is rawhide, then this is skin, then I should be able to skin it. Because see where I live here in Kansas, my husband's a hunter. I was raised on a ranch out west. And so we butchered our own animals out there. And so I have skinned whole animals like, cattle and deer and things like that. And so in doing these dissections, I would also skin the leg, take the skin off of it to expose the inner muscles and tendons and stuff like that. And so I had this foot. I had not skinned the leg. I cut them off right at the pastern joint there. And so I had not skinned the leg. And so I thought, if this is skin, I can skin it. And so I skinned half the foot. And I was able to skin it. I started with the skin on the pastern to remove it, and then I went right down to the coronary band and the foot and all that, and I skinned half the foot. And then I kept it for quite a while. Like I could have turned it into either leather or uh uh I could have well, I finally let it dry out. Now it's a piece of rawhide, the whole thing. But I got pictures of it, and I learned so much from doing that. Now, the skin on this foot here is part of the largest organ of the horse. It's just like the skin on your feet is the same organ as the skin on your hands, your face. It's your body covering, you know. And because of that, it has a certain it attaches to the parts in a specific way, and it has a specific shape. Like this foot, this internal foot has a specific shape. And something else I learned was that the coffin bone didn't take up the whole foot. Okay? That the coffin bone ends right about here, and that all of your heel is cartilage. All of the frog here, all of the heel is cartilage, and then right inside on the other side of that is the digital cushion filling all of this up in here. And so without understanding that this is a skin covering and that this foot has a specific shape, you will not understand exactly how that hoof capsule is supposed to grow and support that foot. And the only thing that keeps, because the back of this foot is all soft tissue here. Now, the front part, the bone, that's solid and it retains its shape rather well. But the only way the back part of this foot will retain its shape is if the hoof capsule is growing from it in a specific way. And that means, like if you look here, let me annotate here. Okay, so right here, I need it thicker. Just a second here. Okay, so your coronary band is up here. This is the back. Now, can you see the heel right here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, now here's the lamina right here that the bar grows up. Okay,
Yep.
now, so the coronary band comes around here, right to here, and then right here, this is where your heel buttress grows. This is the back of the heel. Just a minute here. See, these heels, these internal heels have shape and form. You know, see, your sole is here,
Yep.
okay? And this would be the very back of the heel. You see how it has depth there?
Yep.
See, I'm drawing on that heel. So that heel has depth here. Now, right here is where your heel, well, really, it's more of a column, like a pillar. It's like you have two pillars that start growing. See this? This is a nubbin that sticks out the back of the foot. I'll show you from the side here in a minute. So your heel buttress grows from this area right here, and it grows down. It connects to the heel right here. Then it joins up with the sole right here, and then it has to grow another 3/4 of an inch to an inch right here to where the sole would attach to this heel buttress. See, it would be right along here. And it's a triangular shaped kind of pillar like this. Okay. But on the side of the foot, it would be, well, like this would be that nubbin. This would be this little part down here. And it grows from that like that. And like here, it would be attached to the heel. And right here is where it attaches to the sole and they grow down to the ground together. And
Mhm.
so these pillars that are on the back that grow from the back of this foot. Now it's interesting too, because see how it grows from underneath right here, grows underneath. So it supports the whole back of the foot here. Whereas on the coronary band over here, it grows kind of from the side. Like the coronary band on the side is like this, okay? And the sidewall grows like this, like so. But back here, it literally grows from underneath the coronary band and supports the whole back of the foot. And so these are actually pillars, and these bars right here, they connect into this pillar here, and they I'm looking for a word. They anchor themselves right here at the back of the coffin bone ultimately. Okay, and that is what you call a buttress that is connected to a pillar that is connected to the wall. Like especially over there where you're at in the UK, on all those old buildings, you'll see what they call buttresses that
Yeah.
hold the walls up. We don't see them as much over here. It's more of that ancient architecture, you know. So they may call this a heel buttress, okay, but in reality, it's more like a pillar, like a column that
Mhm.
holds the whole back of the foot up. Not only does it hold the whole back of the foot up at a specific height, but it also holds it up so that the frog does not bear direct contact with the ground. The frog is like you got to remember, this is skin. It's all skin. So it's like uh well, it's also a containment system, right? Your skin is a containment system for your body, and it's flexible, but it also needs to pretty much stay in the place it is, right? And so this skin going all across the back of the foot, all right, it holds this frog up a little bit off the ground so that when the digital cushion presses back down, it presses down on the frog, which is immediately pressing back up, immediately pushing back up. And the tension is not what they teach from the ground up, like you beat your frog on the ground, that's supposed to do something. No, the tension is coming down, pushing on a flexible object, which is the frog, which pushes the frog down, but that frog is meant to immediately push back up. Not because of ground pressure, but because the frog is like this rubberized thing with a big arch right in the center here, that when you push down on it, it just wants to push back up. And so I have some videos that specifically show how the real frog works. And it is not because you're jamming it up from underneath. It's because it's like rubber and you're pushing down on it and it's pushing back up. So, okay, so this is the thing that you're really dealing with in your horse, is this internal foot. We'll look at a couple of more let's see here. A couple of more views. Just a second here. And this too. See, now this is a foot that was not deformed or distorted. Because the whole back of this foot is cartilage and fat covered with skin, it can be, when you lower the heels, it pulls all of this into a distorted position. So in this case, this foot is not distorted. And so what you're going to find is when the heels are trimmed out of these horses, it starts to curl the heels in like this. Like, okay, so this, let me show you this real quick here. So here is the heel buttress corium here going into the bar. right there. Right here's where your heel buttress grows. This little area, X marks the spot. Okay, but you notice how this is all one continuous piece,
Mm-hmm.
even though it turns into frog corium, right? So
Mm.
when the heels are trimmed low, the horse still wants to stand up. The foot is meant to stand up at a specific height in back because look, it's got depth, it's got shape, it's got form. And so when you trim the heels low, well, the foot still wants to stand up. Everything in the body and the leg and everything is telling it, hey, come back up here, right? Well, what happens is it pulls up anyway, but then what it does is it takes the capsule wall and everything and it pulls it around like this, and it'll take this heel buttress. See where the point is pointing back this way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It starts to take that point and it starts to pull it around like this and
Yep.
pulls it into the frog. It pushes the frog upward, like
Yep.
it'll be like this. Well, there was already something here. So when I move this here over to here, it's going to push that forward. It'll push this frog forward here to where it'll go like this. You see how these are shaped here? Instead of being shaped like this, it pushes it forward like that. See
Yeah.
there? Then it makes your frog look wider and stuff. See, I'll be able to show you on my horse where this is exactly what happened to my horse. So you got to remember, I did these trims for 8 years from 2006 to 2014. And I know I did them right because I documented it all on YouTube, thinking I was doing the right thing, just like everybody else. Oh, it's just transition. Well, transition is lasting for people a long, long time. And some horses never go through the transition. And that's why there's so many boot companies. Because when barefoot came up, they said, well, we're better than shoes. Well, then how come there's a new boot company every single year? You
Yeah.
know, because it's big business. See?
There's a lot of horses in pain. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is what actually contracts your heels. Although this can happen and you can have it, see, like when you look at your Clydesdale,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
His like the frogs don't always go narrow. Sometimes instead, while this is all pushing up, let me show you here. The foot gets smaller and smaller. See, it first of all, it'll strip the frog out from between here so that it has room, and then it starts just getting smaller. The heels here will crush up flat. See, these aren't flat heels, are they?
No.
Look at that. They will crush flat because they're cartilage and fat. They get pushed forward and crushed up into the foot flat. And so then sometimes, especially on draft feet and like that, they won't contract. Instead, this has to go somewhere here, right? Instead, it'll go wide. Oh, wait a minute.
Too wide.
Bad drawing. Just a second. Instead of this going up like that, this part will just start to go wide
Mm-hmm.
like this. See?
Wide but forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the heel is crushed up
Yeah.
and stuff. And you can see that your horse's frog on your foot is real wide. Well, since they don't know what's going on when they see that frog going wide, they think they're doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
See, so there are several different forms that the back of this foot takes on, but I'll show you here just a second. Um, I'll show you the extreme of how much it can reduce the size of the hoof capsule and compress the foot into a tiny capsule. And if the capsule holds, then it would be almost like a can foot. But a lot of times the capsule won't hold, and that's when you get, uh, well, the lamina breaking apart, the walls breaking apart, the bulbs busting out the back. I mean, multiple things start happening to these feet. Just depends. Just a minute here. I'll show you the extreme case when I first started seeing this. And let's see. Okay, forgot where it was for a minute. When I first started seeing this, see, I was helping people have this other page called it's a community page type of deal that I was doing where I shared a lot of anatomy and stuff like that. And so I was trying to help other people. And so there was this gal, I think she was from Sweden. This was in 2017 when I first started seeing, like, I was shown an extreme case. See, a lot of times these feet deform into just a smaller version of themselves, and it happens so gradually that nobody even knows what's going on because you keep trimming, or the trimmer keeps trimming the same, and the distortion will grow excess that looks like just a little bit smaller version of what you originally had, when in truth, the foot is bending and contorting and deforming internally. So
Yes.
let's see here. Let me undo this first. Let's see. Okay, share. Okay, I found it. Maybe I have to get rid of some of the pictures on my, oh, it's gonna do it to me. My computer's gonna freeze up a little bit here. Just a second. Come on. Yeah, okay. It's going to freeze up for a second and then it will clear up. Okay, let's try it again. Let's see. Let's close that. So I'm not overusing power because I have so many pictures. See?
Yeah.
So many
Let's see.
hooves. It's too
Okay.
powerful.
So let's see. Just a second here. So, okay. So again, to reiterate what I'm doing here, have just lost my pictures. Okay, where'd you go? It decided to huh. Well, this stupid thing. Oh, to do. I can tell I'm gonna have to do some computer work. Like I have these let's see. Hmm. My screen has disappeared. Hold on. We'll see. There's the zoom. I'm trying to think if I can get these pictures anywhere else. Well, I might not be able to get these pictures back. I'm going to tell you what we're going to have to do. I'm probably going to have to we're probably going to have to take a short break so I can shut this computer back down and start it again.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So take a 15-minute break. What time is it? Here.
12:34.
Okay. Let's get back here at 12:45. Will that work for you there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
On
sorry
the
about
same link.
this. It just decided I'm gonna have to do something here. Okay, we'll be back. Okay,
Okay.
bye-bye.
No problem.
Bye.
See you in a minute. Bye.
Okay, Aaron, are you still
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and keep it open. Keep
Okay.
the thing open. I'm going to log out, but then this will stay open so that I can come back.
Okay, I'm just gonna
Okay.
put my phone on the charger
Okay. Sounds
and let the
good.
dogs out.
Let's see if I can get out of here. Dude.
Axel, you wanna go outside? Dead man? Come on. You wanna go outside? Axel, do you wanna go outside? Axel, you wanna go pee pee? Are you just good? Are you just good? Yeah, feel good, mister. Good boy. Good. Yeah. Is it nice? No. What are you playing? Playing for cricket?
Okay, well, I'm back.
Okay.
Oh man, let me see how it's going here.
Hey, it's okay.
I think I made you the host.
Oh boy.
Let's see.
I could teach a few
Okay.
things.
Okay, now I don't know. Let's see. Now I don't know if I'm recording or not. Um, gosh. Um, will you do me a favor?
Hmm.
Will you check out and then check back in, and then it may ask you to make me the host.
Okay.
Okay, it'll say like uh leave meeting or end meeting.
Okay,
And
yeah.
so okay.
Okay. Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. Hello, Amber.
Hello, I'm back.
I had to
Is your
totally
computer working?
Yeah, I had to totally check out, and then I had to make uh Avery the host. And anyway, now we're trying to get things figured out. Let's see.
All right.
Oh, okay. Yep. Okay, I'm host again. Yes, it worked.
Yay, it's working.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Erin, thank you for doing that.
Hmm.
Okay, well, so I was going to show you a picture of the extreme case of what we came to call foot binding. All right,
Hmm.
where with each trim, when you're trimming those heels out, the capsule gets smaller and smaller. Okay, now we'll see if it's gonna knock me out or what's gonna happen here.
Everyone cross your fingers,
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, cross our fingers.
cross your toes, cross your hooves.
Yeah. I'll just let it kind of settle in there a little bit before I ask it for anything.
Yeah, you have to kind of give them a minute to
Yeah,
think.
I have clicked on the folder.
Now we wait.
Now we wait. See the little hourglass doing funky things on me, so I'm gonna wait till it quits doing that. Mhm. I'm afraid. I might not show you that today. Okay? Because I
Computer says
noticed,
no.
see, I got all these on another hard drive, external hard drive, and I
Ah, that's
noticed
why it's slow.
it's been kind of acting up. So I
Yeah.
think I'm not going to show you that picture today. Um, I've got some other ones I can show though on the regular computer. So we'll just look at that. Then what we're going to do, we're just going to look at a basic internal foot. Then we're going to look at the vertical horn tubules on the capsule and the horizontal growth rings. And then we're going to look at some of the basic side shots of your horse's feet. We're going to look at those horn tubules. And this is something that you guys can learn to do at home. Like, do you know how to use paint? Do you guys have you have a regular computer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So get your pictures in there. Do you know how to use paint?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm just on my
Erin,
phone, so I don't know if I can do that on my
Well,
phone.
oh
you can
no,
do it on
no,
your
you
phone
don't have to
probably.
do it today.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about what you can do at home to evaluate your own progress, to
Hmm.
learn where you're at and where you need to go.
Oh, okay.
Okay, by reading horn tubules and growth rings as well as the hairline. And eventually what we're going to get into, like, okay, so we'll definitely get into the mapping, why we use the mapping as just a general, it's really based on the internal foot. Okay, but then we're going to get into something that I've been working on for a while, which is called proportional anatomy, which is where you are going to learn about certain proportions of the foot that are correct, and you will be able to look at the hoof capsule and tell when the proportions are not correct on any horse of any breed and any size. So it's beyond like just regular hoof mapping where you're, doing a few lines to help you keep in boundaries.
Yeah.
Um, and you'll find that these proportions are the same, or it doesn't matter if it's a mini horse or a Clydesdale. The proportions on these anatomical proportions are the same. And it's not measuring. You'll see once you start seeing it in the feet. Okay, let's see here. Now, where was I going? Okay, go to pictures. Going to go to internal foot, FGHI. Okay. All right, now go back to Zoom and do the share. Okay, okay, you see that there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
not my dissection. All right. Um, this actually, okay, but what I want you to see here, now in this case, they haven't soaked the foot to get all the blood out. But what's interesting is how a lot of times they'll pull the hoof capsules off these feet and you'll never see blood on the frogs. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It'll look white, just like that. Um, and so, but one thing I want you to see here is look at the coronary band and then the lamina. This is all just skin. And it is
Yeah.
one solid piece, even though it's different kinds of skins. Just like the skin under my arms grows the hair under my arm. Okay. It isn't like the skin on my leg or my face. Thank goodness. And stuff, but it's still this a continuous part of that organ. Like I never even thought of, some of this stuff we never even think about, really, because we just live in it, right? We're living in this skin. But our skin is the biggest organ on our body. I never thought of the skin as an organ, but it is. All right. And so this skin here that you see on this foot is it just a continuation of the skin that was on the leg. Now, in this case, he skinned the skin off the leg, okay, on this foot. But another thing you noticed here is do you see the sole corium here?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the sole corium. Then right here is the lamina. There's the coronary band. Let's turn it around. Maybe we can see it better there.
Yeah.
Okay, so now see the coronary band here? This is off a wild horse, this foot. And you see how then the lamina starts right here. And you see that the lamina has a specific angle to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that angle shouldn't change, should it?
No.
You know, just like you think about the different skins on your body, you don't want them to be displaced somewhere else and stuff. So this, let me get a annotate here. So, okay, so here's your coronary band, and that's growing your wall. And then right here is where your lamina, sensitive lamina leaves start. And you can see they have a specific angle here,
Yeah.
all the way back to here. See? And so these lamina, your hoof capsule, this grows the hoof capsule. So the innermost part of the hoof capsule is also called the lamina, but it's made out of intertubular horn that connects with these like sheets of paper. You'd have one sensitive lamina, that's the skin, with the connected to the insensitive lamina, which is part of the hoof capsule. And so it grows from here. It connects here and it slides down. It's dovetailed like a drawer. You know how a drawer slides open and shut? Okay. Well, it slides down because it's an intricate type of dovetailing where it can start growth right here and then slide down. And then right here, before it ever gets to the end of the foot, is where the sole corium starts. And there is a piece of corium here that injects like a yellow rubber cement into the lamina of the hoof wall to connect the sole to the wall. And then the wall has to keep growing from here, connected to a specific piece of sole corium. Like the piece that starts here is meant to grow down this one lamina and connect to this specific piece of sole for the life of the horse.
Yeah.
And so what we find is because the wall, because the wall, like say that's the outer wall there, and then here's the inner wall here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because the wall is like this, so you've got these tubules running down like this, and then you've got your lamina right here that's connected right here to this piece of lamina. So the tubule that you would see, make it like, let's say you've got a horn tubule that starts growing right here, and it's going to be in alignment with that inner lamina of the hoof wall too. You see what I'm saying? So that this horn tubule has to be in alignment right here from here to here. That shows where the internal part of the capsule is. See, the internal part be like, here's your wall, the thickness of the wall. And so you've got these horn tubules that grow down, and then the very most part internally, of course. And it's the white. They're very white. Of course, they're not red right here.
Yeah.
That's the thickness of your wall. So this outer tubule has to be in alignment with this inner piece of internal lamina that connects to your foot, that connects to the sensitive lamina. See, and so what happens is when they lower the heels, it puts this at an angle, like instead of the angle being like this, they lower the heel. Now it's like this.
Yeah.
And eventually it separates from here and shoves and grows forward. And have you ever noticed, if you look at a lot of hoof pictures, you'll notice if you look at sole view, they never have good connection in the quarters. It's always dirty and stuff. Well, this is the cause of it because they're trimming the heels out, which puts the whole thing at a lower angle like this, which forces it to grow forward like this, and it disconnects right here and
So it
grows like that.
disconnects in the quarters then.
Right. And so we know from the lamina on the foot that that hoof wall and that horn tubule and these layers going in have to be in alignment with what the foot dictates. See, another thing is that, let's see here, is that that we know for sure is that the longest horn tubule is in the center of the dorsal wall and that they gradually get shorter as they go towards the heel. But if you look, this was a wild horse, right? Okay, so you can look back here and you can see that his heels were at least like this. And so let's see, just to there, to there. See, there's not any extreme difference. Like this much, it's almost half of the length of the dorsal wall, almost the size of this heel compared to the toe. Of course, this isn't a very good view for that, but we'll see maybe on what we got coming up here. So let's see here. Okay, so let's keep moving on here. Okay, so this is that same foot. Of course, he just took the capsule off like this, but you can, and so this is a little distorted here, but you can see the angle of the horn tubules. If this was all connected back, they'd be right in alignment with what's on the inside of that foot. Okay, this is the foot. Now see how this foot has, the heel has depth, the heel has form. This is all cartilage. So if the heels are lowered, look at the heel buttress here. This is what I was telling you is a column that holds up the whole back of the foot and keeps all these horn tubules in alignment. And so you have your vertical horn tubules. Again, these are a little run forward here because he removed the hoof capsule and the thing kind of distorted. Okay, you can see the alignment that was in with this heel buttress, what they call the heel buttress, but I really see it as more of a pillar, a column, a support column that has, and the bar as like a buttress that is connected to it to hold it in place. And of course, the sole, everything holds it in place. So in the horse's foot, you have the vertical horn tubules that go down like this, and your horn tubule will be in alignment with the internal lamina that is adjacent to it, going inward. And then you have the horizontal growth rings, which you'll see they're about the width of the coronary band, and you'll see them in stages going down like this. Okay, so here's an example. This is the same foot I showed you before, but it's dried out a little more. But look at the shape of the frog, okay, and the heels, and how the heels point back this way. The heel, this would be where the heel buttress of the capsule grows from, right down here. And so this is the true shape of a frog. This foot here was barefoot trim for 1,600 years. 1,600 years, oh my God.
Wow.
The oldest horse to ever live. Okay. 16 years.
Ah.
16 years barefoot trim. This trimmer was trained by a Strasser and Jackson. Okay. This person has been a barefoot trimmer for a very long time, professional barefoot trimmer. This person was intact, still is, but I don't know if their former teaching has ever been able to, if they have ever been able to overcome their former teaching, you know, because I've received a number of feet from this person, very good person. I'm not sure if they're still incorrectly lowering the heels. I haven't talked to them in a while, but I want you to, do you see the difference in these feet?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
does this foot is deformed?
Hmm.
Do you see the difference? This is where the frog went wide,
Yeah.
like what
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Now this was a gilding, and his foot in reality should have been bigger than this mare. But it was so crammed into a deformed and small capsule that you wouldn't even know was deformed unless, but this horse was put down due to what the vet said was shredded tendons.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Hmm.
This is this is the case where this was a personal horse, and I don't believe the person is still able to see or admit that they what they actually did to their own horse. Be like the doctors in Ignaz's Schimmelweiss's uh, uh, time, not believing that their actions, they didn't do it on purpose, of course. They weren't killing women on purpose, right? But ultimately, this led to this horse being put down. Look at
Yeah.
this, the symmetry, how the sides of this foot are practically equal. Look at how this side has been crushed and
Yeah.
narrowed. This side's wide. Um, the heels, the whole foot has been pushed forward. Look what's happened to the toe. See, it's because you're putting that foot in a smaller shoe. You're forcing it into a shoe that is too small for it. Because technically, all that capsule is a shoe. It comes off like a shoe. When I take a capsule off, it comes off just like a shoe. See? And so we can learn a lot even from that. See? So, okay, this is where again they're trimming the heels out and it's compressing and pulling that foot into a capsule that's too small for it. And as long as that periopal stays real dry, it'll kind of, because the hair periopal is what holds the foot on the leg. And so as long as that periopal stays dry, good, but you get a good rain, there you go. See how the foot wants to bust out of the too small shoe?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just an example of and even when I did this, I did not know this foot was deformed. Okay, this foot is deformed, but you wouldn't know it. This was off my mare. She was like 30 when she passed away, and I had trimmed, she was a cow horse, and she was sound all her life. And then I started barefoot trimming her, and she got what, well, they call it footy. Have you heard that term?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that term. It means sore. Okay, it means sore. Oh, they're a little footy. Yeah, they're sore. Now, I'm going to show you something, see, that I learned later about this foot. Let's see, let me annotate here. Okay, remember how I was telling you that on there, here's the coronary band. Okay, right about here. Doesn't seem too bad there. But what's missing? I'll show you here in just a second. Let me get, is this nubbin where the heel
The pillar.
buttress grows. See it?
Yeah.
You know where it went? It got
Under.
wrapped around into the frog. So that this mirror actually didn't have a real heel buttress. This is sidewall. See, what happens is these horses, this coronary band nubbin gets wrapped around in towards the frog. And then the sidewall that was in front of the buttress becomes the heel. And so we started calling this false heels. So what I've been able to do with my gilding now is decontract and unwrap that pretty well so that the heels are pointing back this way instead of in that way.
Yeah.
And another thing that happens here is the foot can literally bend like this. Notice what happens when the foot really bends. Why, goodness, that looks like concavity, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It creates false concavity. That's
Yeah.
another thing you'll see in barefoot. Oh, look at the concavity I have. And I don't see that in your foot that we were talking earlier. You said your gilding finally has some concavity. I see a normal concavity happening since he's got some support now in the back of the foot, lifting his frog up off the ground. Okay, but this would be a false concavity. And of course, the coronary band doesn't necessarily always do this. A lot of times it can look just like this, straight. But ultimately what's happening, this is Chinese foot binding. This is what's happening, what they used to do to Chinese women over in China from the time they were little. Well, this is literally what we're doing to the horse. Okay. Okay, so there's that foot again. And let's see here. Okay, so this shows you what happens to trying to get frog pressure. They've been so indoctrinated into having to have frog pressure that they now trim the heels, and they have for a long time. You may not realize this. They'll start trimming the heels way below the frog especially if they're going to put a shoe on it,
Mm.
because they have to make up for the width of the shoe. And that's what happened here. And so this gal was really trimming those heels down, put a shoe on it. She's a farrier. All right. And then you can see where the bulbs here are wanting to
They're
bust
busting out.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yikes.
This is the foot. I skinned half of it off. And what this shows you is how much of the foot is soft cartilage and fat. This is your heel platform internally, the heel platform here. And so I skinned this half off to show the cartilage. And so the other side has the skin on it. This was another dissection I had to show you how much of the foot is soft cartilage and fat covered with skin, and
Yeah.
therefore has to have a specific configuration to those heels, to those pillars, to keep all of that in alignment and at the right height and at the right, so it will retain its true shape so that it can function correctly. That is the Cookie Monster, the cookies.
Cookies.
I don't know why I got that in there, but anyway. Okay, so this is that same foot I showed you first that I said was really actually a perfect foot, didn't have any distortion in it. And again, I want you to notice the lamina leaves, how they are at a specific angle. And so they just can't be any old angle. And people have to understand that those horn tubules are in alignment with the internal piece of lamina that's in there. We'll look at that in a minute. And also that the lamina does not go all the way to the end of the foot. The sole corium starts before that, and it produces a convex ridge of sole around the whole perimeter of the foot. Okay, let's keep going here. Here's another example from another dissection. This horse here was a paint horse that lived on about a 40-acre sod pasture that self-trimmed his whole life. And so he had a perfect foot. You can see the nubbin here. See it? That
Yeah.
grows. The heel buttress, this pillar, triangular pillar that's connected to the heel and anchored by the bar, and then supports and stabilizes the whole wall from heel to heel, and then lifts the frog up off the ground so it can grow thickness of frog. See, I think of it like this too. In like a second, well, 30 seconds, I can take my grinder and that frog is gone. So where do they get off thinking that it's not going to wear off when you're forcing it to bear weight on the ground with a 1,200-pound or more horse? That's when you get, have you seen any of these Facebook pages on canker where the frogs are just like mush?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they think that's some sort of disease. No, you're trimming the heels out so that you're forcing an appendage to bear weight that was never meant to. 1,200-pound horse. Okay, so but this shows you how the coffin bone is the only, well, I mean, it's got, the navicular bone here and the short pastern bone, but all of this is soft cartilage and fat.
Yeah.
Now, here's something else. Okay, this foot here was actually also a very good foot. Something I want you to know, because people could look at this, and because of what they're taught in barefoot trimming, they could look at this foot here and they go, oh, well, look at the hairline. It's going to the ground. Well, first of all, this isn't how the foot sat. What happens is, because I couldn't hold the leg up, it's pushing the back down. The foot does not look like this in reality. And here's the deal. This was a pretty darn good foot, except for the fact it did have a little lower heel than it should have. That's why it's got these rings. But what happens when you take these feet out of the capsule is the back of the foot just falls down. That's how
Yeah.
much you need the support of the capsule. That's how vital the capsule and the correct column length, height, this heel buttress, they want to call it, but I really see it as a pillar growing from under here and supporting the back of the foot up here. But see, that's important to know because you could misinterpret what you're seeing here. And this horse had beautiful feet. Like, see here, he had definitely had depth to the back of his foot. It didn't just naturally sit flat like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that other foot. And again, the tack mapping is just based on general measurements. Uh it's not written in stone. Understand? But
Mhm.
it's very general, but what it's meant to do is to keep you within boundaries. And ultimately, again, what we're going to learn to do, and this is terrible. So what happened here? They trimmed the heels out, put shoes on him, then ran the crap out of him, and he ran right out of his hoof capsule.
Oh my Lord.
Oh,
But
wow.
you can imagine how that could happen, right?
Without the
How is he
support, yeah.
standing?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. Lower. That's what happens. You lower those heels. But see, when you're doing it gradual, and that periopal is made to help this horse survive, and the periopal will do this amazing thing and grow over the whole thing and thicken and hold the foot in there. But
Mm, yeah.
in this case, it didn't.
Oh, oh,
See
it's
there?
horrible.
Wow.
Can you see how trimmed out the heels are?
Mm-hmm.
And he just walked right out of his capsules. And
The
of
whole
course, they
thing,
want to
yeah.
blame it on diet or something, you know. Oh, it was, metabolic. Yeah, whatever. Okay, but this is just an example. This is my horse's foot. He's alive.
Mhm.
Okay, but I held up another foot to it just so you could see what we're basing things on here. See where the bars go. See, it's just general to help you stay in boundaries. Okay. Oh, this is just more. This is my mare's foot. This shows you how the foot comes out of the capsule. See there? I'm pulling it out. This is the foot coming out. This horse is alive, had the heels
Mm,
trimmed out, pulling the back of the foot down. Like I told you, the foot still wants to stay up where the foot wants to be anatomically. That's the way it was designed, whatever you want to call it. All right, so it's going to pull up anyway, and if that periopal skin don't hold, it'll pull right out of the capsule.
yeah.
Okay, so we were talking about the width of the hoof wall. Now, now you got your outer wall, and you're going to see your horn tubules, your vertical horn tubules. Then and it goes straight in here to the lamina that connects into the sensitive lamina of the hoof wall, the skin. Remember, lamina, internal lamina, which they call sensitive lamina, is just a specialized type of skin. It's still a continuation of the coronary band and the sole corium and the skin on the leg. It's the largest organ on the horse. And so this is the thickness of the wall. And so let's see. And so you would have a horn tubule out here running straight down, and then you got different horn tubules as you go in. This horn tubule here corresponds to this piece of lamina here, which corresponds to the sensitive piece of lamina skin on the foot. And that lamina on the foot also runs down the foot as it is attached in a specific location. And so, especially, let's see here, especially when it comes to over here in the quarters. All right. because this is where they seem to get displaced the most, where the horn tubule on the outside, well, the horn tubule out here, when they take the heels down, it puts all the horn tubules at a lower angle, which forces them forward. And so instead of the horn tubule, which starts up here, grows down, that is supposed to end at the ground in a specific location. But what you're going to see is you're going to see so many horses where it may start here and it ends clear up at the toe. Because when they lower the back of that foot, it sets everything on a lower angle and it forces them to grow forward. And so it will disconnect. Your white line is right in here, right in there. That's where your white line starts, which is really yellow, right? Okay, so this lamina here connects to the lamina on the foot that would be inside this capsule, and they have to be at the same angle. And then when we go out here, the horn tubule that is adjacent over here will be at the same angle. And so this is a major part of this, of paying attention to what's going on with your horse's feet, because you're going to learn to work with these horn tubules. You're going to learn how they grow forward and get disconnected. That's why so many horses have no connection here. Also, because the foot is bent, producing a false concavity. In fact, that is so common. They teach it as part of the anatomy. They teach that the horse has an arch in the side of his foot because it's so common, because they're looking at deformed feet. Okay, so these two, let's see, which hoof capsule? I think this was my mare's hoof capsule, and I want you to look at something. Remember I said I trimmed the heels out of her. We looked at her foot earlier. You couldn't see the little nubbin, the nubbin that comes out behind the foot that grows the heel buttress or that pillar, that column, right? It was wrapped around the foot. Do you remember that?
Hmm.
Are you sure? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry. Okay, here. Let me get a different color here. Okay, I want you to look at her heel buttress. Which way are they pointed? Oops.
It towards each other.
Yeah, towards each other. Okay. And now I don't know if we can see his, but his are not pointed towards each other. They go more like this. Because this is the paint horse. He was put down because he was blind. He lived in the 40-acre pasture. Okay. Look at even the commissures. This is an internal part of what these here are called the commissures along the sides of the foot. Okay. Here's your frog.
Hmm.
Okay. So look how much narrower hers are.
Oh yeah, that's
See?
grown right up to it.
Yeah. So uh just these little things make a difference, you know. Okay, so let me get out of there. Okay, so here we are with that foot. This again is that paint horse's foot. And he was put down because he was blind, and they let me have his feet. So now uh, he's self-trimmed his whole life. He's 8 years old. Well, okay, his owner tried to nip off a couple pieces, maybe 3 times his whole life, and stuff. And so this was off a different horse here, but again, showing the back of this foot and the need for a specific configuration to that hoof capsule to support the whole back of that foot in a specific way so that everything functions correctly. Now, so let's say this represents a horn tubule, an internal lamina here. See, so all these have to be in alignment. The longest one is in the center of the toe. You can't have a situation where, let me get a different deal here, where this horn tubule here, for the life of the horse, it starts here and it should end here. Internally, it's connected to the lamina right there where you see the staggered lines there on the inner foot. And so when they lower the heels, a lot of times these things are put at a lower angle like this, and they'll just start moving forward to where instead of this piece of hoof wall being here, it winds up, this piece here can wind up clear over here, and this piece here can wind up here. And then you have this situation where look how it's added capsule wall into, I'm going to put it in blue so you can really see it. You see this all the time in different forms. See now, originally this was here. Oh, wrong color. Wait a minute. Originally, this piece of hoof, why does it keep doing that to me? Get back here. Red. Are you red? There we go. Okay, so I want you to look at the size of this piece of wall here. This is where it belongs. It would have been connected right to here. See the alignment of the internal sensitive lamina in here? The
Yeah.
laminal leaves?
Yeah.
This would have been in alignment and connected right here. But what happens is that because whoever takes pictures, really, that many pictures that they ever notice, and when they do take pictures, it's always the sole, hardly ever the side of the foot. And so gradually, this just creeps forward. And that's why for this to have a clean white line, notice there's no arch here in this foot.
Yeah.
See that? No arch, is there?
No.
Yes.
Okay,
No.
there's no arch unless the foot is bent, which is, again, is so common that they think it's part of the anatomy. And so they say, well, you got to scoop the quarters for the arch. Well, that's a distortion. And so this piece here has to be here. Okay, but what happens is it winds up being, just a minute here, it winds up going like this. What's it doing? It's tearing in the lamina in here, stretching it, tearing it. The heel, also the heel's being crushed up into the foot. It no longer has definition. There is no horse born on earth that was ever meant to have a 30-degree hairline. Just a minute. 30-degree hairline. 30-degree
Yeah.
hairline is this number here.
Yeah, no, that's bad.
Yeah. And see, I tried putting that on my horse. See, I did it all. I documented it all too, and everybody can go around pretending these horses are sound, but they're not. It's just that they've been programmed or to think it's something else. See? Oh, it's just transition. Oh, well, you got to have pain. If there no pain, no gain. Got to build up that digital cushion. See, no, what you're doing is you're destroying the digital cushion. See what happens if I take a foot like this and I keep putting it in a smaller and smaller capsule. What's going to happen? It's going to start bulging out the back, right? Even if it doesn't come unhooked completely back here, it's going to start making this look bigger, right? Like if you squeezed it, you would make everything kind of bulge up and out the top. They think that is what you call it, building up the digital cushion. They think that a distorted, deformed anatomical part is growth because they do not know that the hoof capsule is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And so that foot has to go somewhere. And if it doesn't just totally erupt out the back, well, then it just takes all these parts and it just kind of shoves them up and out the top. And they go, oh, look at that. He's building his foot up. Okay, let's see here. All right. So this is the first thing you got to learn about is reading the horizontal. See, when it starts up here, it should end down there. See, and then it would be in alignment with the lamina on the inner foot. And then second is the, oh, what color should we do? Let's just do red. Okay, so here's your coronary band here, just basic. This is what you call your growth rings. And you'll be able to see them. Now, right there, you see how I did that? And what did I immediately get? I'll show you. Let's see. I got a rectangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See it? Okay, so these are proportions that you start to see in these feet that they all have when things are right. And then beyond that is where it gets into this kind of triangular shape right there. And so
Yeah.
they keep going, they grow out first at the toe. See? And so we know that this coronary band is supposed to be straight. It shouldn't be higher like here. If it is, it's usually because you're accidentally leaving this part of the toe too high. And gradually the weight just shoves it up to where it shoves up into the coronary band and then it pushes it up here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna end on that part of this anatomy lesson. And so now we're going to look at your guys' horse's feet and we're going to look for, well, three things. First thing in tack we look at is the cartilages up here and understanding that cartilages have pretty good extension out the back here, that they're
Hmm.
not rounded down and short. And second of all, that the hairline has to be relatively high. And you want to look at then your vertical horn tubules and your horizontal growth rings. So we're going to look at those things in your horse's feet here and now. And so what you're going to be learning, first of all, besides trimming techniques and stuff like that, which I'll make you some videos this week about just basic rasping down a foot as if you were going to put a shoe on it. Okay. And just doing a basic level trim and how to shape the toes
Yeah.
so that they're not too high or too long. Okay, so that's just kind of a quick basic on
Hmm.
what the foot is like and how what we're doing. Now your internal foot will be deformed. And so as you start restoring the hoof capsule, it will start pushing the foot back into place. And so what you're going to have going on here is you're going to trim and change boundaries, and you're going to trim and you're going to grow certain other aspects. And as you do, it will release parts of the foot that it's pulled into its distortion, and it will start pushing that foot back into place where it will then grow the hoof capsule from a different location. And that will stabilize the foot more towards what it was supposed to be. And so it's kind of a back and forth deal. You trim and you grow, it pushes and releases the foot to be able to go into the position it wants to be in. Because something you have to realize here too, since this foot is full of fat, and since all this is cartilage, what does fat and cartilage want to do when you push on it or you move it? it wants to move back into place, right?
Yeah.
So these feet in reality are under a lot of pressure wanting to go back to what they were supposed to be. They are compressed and under a lot of pressure that is pushing out. So if we can release certain areas of the capsule that are binding them, then so it's a controlled release though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we don't want it to be a deal where it releases and there's nothing for it to release into. Like you're growing the capsule bigger and releasing the foot at the same time. And so what you're going to find in your trim, it's going to be a back and forth, back and forth. You know, trim, grow, release, foot moves, grows capsule from a different spot, trim, grow, release, uh, capsule, foot releases, grows capsule from a different spot till eventually we get everything moved back into place. And then you allow it to grow to its full thickness and its full strength. Because, see, right now we try and keep the capsule at it in a way that it's stabilizing and supporting the foot, but also releasing the foot, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Okay. And these feet, I'll tell you this one other thing. They're like a Rubik's Cube. You know how many different ways Rubik's Cubes moves? That's what these feet are like. Each heel is independent. And the
Yeah.
center where the frog is, it's independent too. Like I could restore my heels pretty much, but if I didn't trim my frog, the whole center of the foot right in here would still be pulled down under and bound by old frog growth, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's see here. All right, so I'm going to close this and I'm going to open up Facebook again and we'll go through some of the pictures you sent. I'm going to go through them in more detail, but um, what I'd like you guys to do
Hmm.
is okay, I'll post this so you can watch it, all right? And then I'll try and post some other stuff about the basic vertical horn tubules and growth rings. And then what you should do is you should go through the pictures of your horse's feet yourself, the side view, okay, and do your own evaluation, kinda.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Um, Now I just have to go find Facebook. Hold on here. Oh, my computer is really slow. Let's see. Uh-oh. How did I
Try
wind
again.
up here? I'm in the wrong spot. Doo, doo, doo. I'm in the wrong. Just a minute. Darn. Ah. Okay. Okay, just a second. Share. Okay.
Yay.
Okay, let's see here. open in Messenger. Okay, so we're gonna go up and we're gonna look at your thoroughbred, right?
Yeah. Yes, Frosty.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna look at your thoroughbred, and then we're gonna look at Amber's Arab, and
Yeah.
then if we have time, we will get to your Clydesdale.
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So I see you're already practicing the notch.
Yes.
So that's great. That's awesome. Now, uh now is this comparison photos we're looking at here?
Yes. So I forgot to put the date on the left side, but that's from June last year when I first started. So this was after 4 years of the barefoot trimmer that left the frog, and they were on 5 week trim intervals
Okay.
cycles. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna load this so I can look at it closer and enlarge it.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Open file. Hopefully my computer won't freeze up. Let's see, share. Okay. Well, I can already tell, especially in the dorsal wall, I think things are looking better. You know, you can't really see the horn tubules here, but I have a
Yeah.
feeling that they were running forward
Yeah. I didn't
like
realize how
this.
important it was to wash the feet before these pictures, but
That's okay. That's okay. Okay. Now, how do you feel about where you were and where you've come to?
um I'm happy with how his dorsal wall is coming in straighter. You it was long toes before.
Hmm.
And then his frog has moved back.
Okay.
But what I've noticed from day one was his bars kind of had like a bend in them, and they
Mm,
still
yep.
kind of do. So that's when I realized he must be bound in the back. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
he's got like after you told me to bring back the toe even more, I it's in one of the pictures that I sent you. He's got more of like the convex at the uh sole. You see that? The
Okay.
convex and then the concavity.
Yeah. And stuff. And I do think that um from looking at this that you're being held up still by the bars.
Yeah.
Where's the
Say,
bend? Sorry. Could you just point that out to me where the bend in the bar is?
oh, could you say that again?
Could you just point out where the bend in the bar is that you mentioned, please?
The bend in the bars.
Yeah.
Um, what I'm going to ask her because she said that about the bend in the bars.
So it's like I'm sorry, the sun did not help me this day. But
In
it's
the left photo we're
in
looking at.
like the one with the sun. Well, I mean, you can kind of see it in the other one a little bit, but you can see in the bar wall, there's like kind of like a wave in it a little bit. Like, um,
Yeah.
so yeah, like when I trim my Clydesdale, he doesn't have like any kinks or anything in it, but this the thoroughbred does.
Is the kink
The
near the wall then?
Yeah, kink in
Yeah.
the bar wall.
Yeah, I
So
think I see.
I'm going to try and hook up my, let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna try and hook up my computer camera thing so I can show you a hoof capsule here. When you say the bar's bent, I want to show you something here that happens that people don't even know is going on because I'm going to tell you what I see. On the one hand, when I look at this foot, it almost looks better than what I'm seeing here. But
Oh.
but here's the
Hmm.
difference. This is what you call forward foot syndrome. In
Yeah.
other words, the foot, the
Yeah.
capsule the sole is grown out from underneath the foot. Okay. So you can see it up here. See right here how it's forward? This should be back underneath the foot back
Mhm.
Yeah.
here. So you've actually brought the sole back, but at the same time as all this came back, nothing really released. Okay, let's say if I didn't was unable to get this to move with the front wall, what's going to happen? The front wall is going to move back and it's going to round out
Mhm.
the cartilages, which is exactly what you see happened here. You did good in getting the dorsal wall to come back,
Hmm.
okay, but at the same time, something was holding you up back here, and as this backed up, then you see how it curved.
Yeah.
This here, see how this is not curved, and actually the cartilages look real good here. Okay, but over here they're more rounded, and you can see where the back rounded up here. Do you
Yeah.
see that?
Yeah.
See, not just
Yeah.
me. Okay, so it's kind of confusing because kind of when
Mhm.
you look at it, you're looking at this part going, well, that looks pretty good. But then when I see this part, I go, well, but that bump shouldn't be there. See? And
Yeah.
at the same time, when I look at this foot here, I know that this is not correct here, but I'm looking at the cartilage going, but that looks okay, you
Hmm.
know. And so what happened again, let me explain it. You got your toe and your dorsal wall backed up good, but the back of the foot didn't come with it. It kind of stayed where it was. And
Yeah.
so everything backed up and kind of pushed the foot together. Does that
Yeah.
sound about right?
Yeah, that's why I'm like that's why I kind of threw notches and I'm like, what is holding that
Yeah.
forward like that? So,
Well, I think it's the bars.
okay,
Okay.
yeah. So
Um,
that's always been my I just don't know how to fix that.
yeah. Well, we're gonna
Yeah.
take a. I'm gonna look at
Okay.
some more pictures and we're gonna figure that out
Mhm.
and stuff. And one thing I see is that getting more of the apex of this frog here. Okay, because sometimes just the apex of the frog will hold the
Mhm.
frog
Yeah.
forward.
I
Okay.
think that's something I haven't addressed is the frog apex.
Yeah, it takes a bit to kind of get into that and start saying because yeah, just that extra growth. You won't believe how many times the apex of these frogs will move as this whole foot is shifting and adjusting. See?
So
So
would you say on this foot the frog apex still needs to come back?
yes, I'd say that this area here needs trimmed down. And but what I'm really seeing is we got some kind of weird stuff going on. These look like butterfly, what I call them butterfly bars, and they were butterfly bars here too.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted to try and hook up my phone so I could show you what happens to bars. How they can literally get bent right up
Mhm.
into the foot right here.
Yeah.
Um, let me see if I can. Just a minute. Okay, where are you? I got this thing called IV cam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been looking at us.
Searching for IV cam PC. Well, I'm got it here. Come on, you can find it. Hmm, just a second. Hmm. Please run IV cam. Well, I am running IV cam. You're not, it's not picking you up. Just a minute. Pin. Darn. Maybe I could take a picture of it. Just a minute. Hold on. Let me take a picture of it.
Okay.
Um, let's see here. Where are you? So as I'm doing this, so this was a horse 10 or so years ago that I trimmed for 6 months, and I was doing barefoot trimming. And of course, I was taking the heels down. And then the horse got colic and they put him down and she let me have his feet. Um, and then years later, I'm looking at different pictures I took of him, and after I had learned kind of what I was doing, I realized that I was deforming this horse's feet. That I was pulling the whole back of the foot down behind the foot because what happened was, uh, once I took the hoof capsule off, and then you could see where the whole coronary band was pulled down behind his foot, but I did not see that at the time because I didn't know about any of that. And then a couple days later, I took another picture. Well, that's still cartilage and fat. It still goes back into its shape, even when the horse is dead, if the capsule ain't on him. And so the foot had moved. And at the time, I'd taken the frog off because it deforms and pulls the frog under too. And I could not understand why the foot did not fit on the frog anymore. And so I was taking pictures of it, but then years later I had these comparison pictures, and then I understood that I had trimmed the heels out of that horse. It was deforming the back of his foot. It had pulled it all down. I took the hoof capsule out. The foot tried to go back to where it was, even dead. How about that? It's like a piece of like the cartilage on the end of a chicken bone, chicken
Mhm.
breast, right? I can bend it. It's dead, but it ain't gonna stay there, is it? It's gonna go back because it's cartilage. It's meant to do that. And
Yeah.
so that's the same with this horse. Okay, so I'm gonna take these pictures. Um, and then I trimmed the hoof capsule out at the time too. Also at that time didn't understand what I mean. And I trimmed one heel, all the flaky sole in one heel completely out. And I noticed this bar was disconnected. So I'll show it to you here. Come on, take a picture. Now, take a picture of the other bar. Just a minute here. Okay, so just let me go to Facebook here real quick and upload that. Let's see. Facebook. What's on your mind? Photo video. Ah. What's on your mind? More. Next. Okay. Okay. Take a second to get up there. You're gonna see how these bars can be literally be bent up into the back of the foot, and it'd be like as if you took vice grips. Both of you know what vice grips are?
Yeah.
Okay,
think
it's
so.
as what, Amber?
I think so.
Okay,
Like a
they're like
easy size.
pliers. They're
Yeah.
like pliers. It's like as if you took pliers and you connected it to the coronary band that grows the heel column pillar buttresses, and you just forced and pulled and bent them down underneath. And then
Yeah.
as you did, it would bend the bars up into the foot. See? So let me see here. Okay. Hopefully, let's see. Okay, share. Oops. Wait a minute. There we go. Okay, do you see this
Yes.
right here?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the bar. Maybe I need to save the image and make it bigger to show you here just a minute. Okay, you see this? This is the bar right here. Okay, this piece right here is supposed to be connected right there. See that?
Wow. Yeah.
See it as the heel was pulled down and pushed
Yeah.
forward, it because the bar is connected to it, right? It bent the bar this way, and then this is all separation where it pulled
Yeah.
away from it. Well, you can
Yeah.
see a little bit of it right. See a little bit of it right there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So this here was supposed to be connected right here. So so now imagine this is sharp
Yeah.
here. And this is being forced down.
Mm.
This is being shoved up into the bottom of the foot, the sensitive part of the foot. And really right about in back of the navicular bone.
Yeah.
That's what that
Like a
is
knife.
what these barefoot trims are doing to all these horses. And it's not just the barefoot trims, it's the farrier trims too, because they're doing the same thing with the heels.
Yeah.
You know, whenever they say, oh, you got to take the heels back, whenever you take them back, you're taking them down. And
Down.
you're changing the angle of everything. And these these horn tubules and all of this is supposed to be at a specific height, at a specific alignment to fit that foot. And all these horses' feet are anatomically the same. They might have, they might be bigger, they might be smaller, they might be wider, some of them might be a little longer and stuff, but anatomically and proportionally, they are all the same. Just like humans, how could they ever build us shoes if all our feet weren't technically the same, right? Now,
Yeah.
yeah, we maybe my middle toe's longer than yours. I don't know, or something. We have variation, but the variation isn't so great that you know, that my I could have a deformed foot and you'd call that normal. But when it comes to horses' feet, this is exactly what's going on. Okay, so there's that. Let me go back here. I'll show you. Okay, oh, nope, nope. Share. Okay, so there's that. And here is what the bar was like before I trimmed it. See, it just looked not really normal. It was flaky looking and stuff like that. Um, it looked like that. But it's this bar here is the same as the one I just showed you, but this is the
Mm-hmm.
other side of the foot. But
Yeah.
look
It's
here.
disconnected.
See how it bent that up into the foot
Yeah.
Yeah.
right there? And so I don't know if you've heard that deal. Oh, you can tell how much soul you have by how deep your collateral grooves are.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Obviously, that ain't going to work, right? Because
Yeah.
that
Hmm.
bar bent up, it made the collateral groove deeper.
Yeah.
So there it is again. Okay, so to one degree or another, this is what got going on in the back of that foot.
I agree. I can see that.
See, and like you said, like your bars have growth rings too.
Mm-hmm.
See, and they have vertical horn tubules and horizontal growth rings as well. So if you see one that's curved, see, because they shouldn't be curved, they should be straight. The lines should be straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, so let's go back. Let's see here. Okay, so whenever you don't have real bar, like you never had any real bar here, not
Yeah.
really. It
Mm-hmm.
was wispy. I call them butterfly bars.
Yeah.
You know, you should have, and plus another thing here, like while on the surface, kind of this foot looks better, you know, yet here's some things that aren't better. Let me show you this. Let me get, oh, let's see here. Wait a minute. I don't know. What is that? Just saw a pause button and I couldn't figure out what it was. Okay. Um, let's see here. Let me get the annotate. Okay, look at your heels here. Just a second here. Oh, wait a minute. They go like this. See that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. And here they're going a little better
they're going more
there,
backwards. Yeah.
you know. Oh, I've got the
Mm-hmm.
disappearing one. Um, so there's some improvement here as well. Look at the sole ridge you're kind of developing right here that you did not have over here. So
Yeah.
this shows that it is coming back, but there's still these bars are still kind of weird and holding you up,
Yeah.
and the frog is kind of odd
Well, the
looking
sun
as well.
is kind of making
Is
it
it the
look
sun?
weirder. Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. Okay. Let's see here. All right, so let's move on from this picture to another couple pictures of this. And then we'll set a time to get together next week. And
Mm-hmm.
so do you guys think that you can kind of go over your own feet and kind of go through some of these principles and look at things and maybe practice doing some markups yourself and
Yeah.
you know, clean the feet so that you can see your horn tubules and kind of do your own semi-evaluation, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll get
Yeah.
together next week. We'll go over it. In the meantime, this week, I'll put some videos together that just show your basic farrier pasture trim, kind of leveling out, you know, if that would help you, how to shape the toe correctly. And
Yeah.
you're actually doing a very good job here as well.
Okay.
So, okay, so let me what am I doing here? Duh. Okay, close that. Um, stop share for now. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and look at Amber's
Okay.
horse. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
see here.
She's a bit worse.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. See, we'll all learn. We're all learning from this. I learn whenever I help other people. I'm still learning.
Yeah,
You
it
know.
sounds like you've learned through practice and through helping people, and we're all always learning. So
Yeah. Okay. Let's see where I'm at.
I'm at least happy I recognize the problems and can start learning to fix it, basically.
Yeah.
That's a start, at least.
Let's see. Okay. So I'm bringing up Amber here. Ah, she sent me some whole horse pictures.
Oh,
Good.
if you said you want to see the actual horse.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. We'll look.
I just
Um,
sent a couple I found quickly.
oh, okay. Here, we're gonna look real quick here. Oh, let's see. Yeah, good big horse like this needs good big solid feet.
Oh,
You
Oh,
he's
know,
that's
pretty.
my horse. That's pretty.
Yeah, that's
you
definitely the
know,
Clydesdale.
yeah. Oh, and I tell you,
Oh,
I got a soft spot for thoroughbreds. You
did you
know,
say
well,
this guy was 19?
Yeah.
yeah, well,
Oh,
That's
see, and
last summer.
my horse is in his 20s, you know, and so it's never too late. I'm telling you, because all the building blocks are still there.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you've still got the horse.
Okay, well, that's awesome. Okay, well, go over to take a look at Amber's horse now.
Oh, adorable.
That's her 3 years ago when we bought her, and she was very skinny.
She
Not
was
skinny, but
well, she's
it-
beautiful.
that was
I
her
love her.
straight out the field.
I
She's
love
very
her
cute.
big dapples. Look at them big nostrils.
Yeah, she's lost the
See?
dapples, sadly, but her curly ears is what I love. She's got really
Oh
curly
yeah,
ears.
I love them too. That's awesome. Aw,
Yeah, we have 4 Arabs on the same yard, but this one's mine. The other 3 are my friends.
okay. That's great. See, and she's got nice big feet. So you know what? You're going to be able to get these feet in shape.
Yeah, I think she's got like the hoof is there at least. I've never taken back the heel myself, so
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Okay, well I'm just gonna keep going with the pictures here, going the other direction since
so
I'm there.
these are going to be the very oldest pictures I found of her feet then. This is when we first got her because I kind of put them in order from
Okay,
the the ones at the front will actually be the ones that I've sort of annotated a bit or taken for tact. These ones are the oldest pictures I could find of perhaps how she was when we bought her.
okay, that's great. And she was pretty much out on a pasture, hadn't had
Yeah,
much done with her feet.
I think so,
So
yeah.
yeah, so I think you're lucky there.
There's going to be a
See,
lot of pictures. I think I sent her a
yeah,
lot.
that's okay.
But yeah,
Um,
that's one of the first photos I have of her feet, and the you can see the contraction kind of the
yeah,
heel buttresses coming in towards each other.
yeah, but not really, really bad. See, I'm used to seeing them pointing directly at each other.
I don't know if it
See,
gets worse though, because if you go to the picture, the very going to be a lot of pictures.
that's okay. See, this is really telling me where she's coming from,
Yeah, that's why I
you
thought
know?
it would be the history.
See,
'Cause-
and to me, they're not as bad as what you think they are. See, because
yeah,
I'm used to looking at untrimmed feet, and feet that have just had to kind of survive on their own, and then feet who people have trimmed that are absolutely atrocious, you
yeah,
know.
you could go worse with trimming the wrong way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So this is not that bad. Oops,
Might be
got
easier if you
lost.
just open the chat big, um,
Let's see.
and then we can scroll up. Open Messenger. If you scroll all the way to top, we'll get the recent pictures.
Okay.
There's a
But
lot of pictures
but
here.
here's the thing.
Mm.
Don't be embarrassed.
Yeah,
Okay,
the,
okay.
the ones we're
Again,
looking at are November, so this is at least within the last 3 months.
okay. Now, what's your most current ones?
Very top.
Very top? Okay, let's
Yeah,
let's go there and
these
these
ones
ones.
are the most
Okay.
current.
Okay, well, yeah, so probably if her heels were trimmed down a couple times, okay, that would make her heels contract. That is absolutely the reason for contracted heels.
Yeah,
But not as bad as it could be. I'll tell you that right now.
she's got quite a straight hairline, I think. I don't think it's too curved.
No, it's not.
Um,
It's not.
and I don't think it's too run forward either. I don't think it's too I don't feel like they're too run forward, the toes,
Yeah.
but
And one thing you guys need to practice doing is how to take a full side profile shot, which
yeah,
is
because
where you come back, you almost get the other bulb in view. Like you would come this way, but you keep
yeah.
aiming the camera at the foot so the camera would kind of turn. Okay, and then you get back to where you almost see the other bulb and
Mhm.
snap your picture. And that will give you a really good side profile. But even so,
Okay.
I can still read these feet even without that. And so your horn tubules are looking very much in alignment and pretty good, but we need to put the capsule back on the foot more.
Yeah, I feel like the capsule is forwards.
Yeah,
We'll see that on the sole view.
yeah, when all's said and done, she will have huge cartilages back here and a steeper dorsal wall here. Everything will shift back and stand up. Let's see.
That's the
Okay.
front. See,
So
she's got some like flaring on the inside. You can see like the horizontal line isn't, it comes up on the inside.
yeah, like you're talking about here, right?
Yeah,
Did
there
now
it comes
you
up.
trimmed her?
I tried.
You
I
did
didn't actually
good.
trim the bottom. I didn't do the bottom though.
You
I didn't actually
you
flatten it at all.
Well, you help this out a lot.
Yeah,
Now,
I just try to take the flare down, really.
yeah. So what happens is, um, so obviously, however she was being trimmed or wearing her feet, she was leaving this high
Yes.
here.
Yeah, that's
Okay, now here's the thing that happens though, is that uh like this looks more in the end, what you're gonna see when you get all this corrected. Oh, wait a minute. What am I doing? On an internal foot, if you were to look at the front, just a second here. What you'll see is the foot will go down kind of like this on an inner foot, like that. I need a
okay.
different,
So it's not meant to be a straight line then, or is that
right.
just how the internal foot is?
No, right. It's not meant see, and the capsule is to follow that growth. But the coronary band can move up to 1/2 inch. Like if I was to take a hoof capsule off and just put my finger on the coronary band, I can shove it up and down. Because again, it's just skin, right? You know how skin moves
Yeah.
and stuff. And so when these, they either naturally they could grow too high or people leave them too high by the way they trim. Because remember I said this wall is dovetailed like a drawer that slides out and it grows from up here and it slides down and then
Yeah.
it slides out the bottom and that past the sole because the wall grows forever, but the sole only grows about 1 inch before it dies and can be exfoliated unless it doesn't get exfoliated and it can retain dead sole that can look like live sole. See, these feet just want to deceive you anyway they can. And uh uh so this wall slides down. Well, when it doesn't get trimmed off enough and there's too much ground force down here, then it gradually jams back upward
Pushes
and
up.
yeah, shoves that up. See, the inner
Yeah.
foot itself, if we were to look at an inner foot from the front, it would look the coronary band, we would see the coronary band go like this.
Yeah.
See? And so these quarters here, toe quarters, or they call them pillars sometimes, okay? When they get high, which a lot of times from the bottom you don't even know they're high. They'll look square. Because see how this
Yeah.
one flared out
Yeah.
over here? See, they take the path of least resistance. Like here it flared out, but then it also jammed up. Once it jams up to where it can't jam up anymore, then it'll start flaring out like that
Yeah.
from the excess growth, see? And so you just got to start leveling it down. I've got some videos like, okay, look at the growth ring here.
Hmm. Yeah, it's much
See
higher on
it?
the inside because it's jammed, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and stuff. So you did the right thing taking that down, okay?
From the
And
bottom, I couldn't tell that it was like so high from the bottom because I was just looking at the bottom when I was doing it.
I know
So
it. I
yeah.
know it. And you'll learn to kind of look at both. Look at the bottom and look at these growth rings too. The only thing is there's a whole big bunch to explain about how you could still have the same thickness of sole even if you had these growth rings that are way up like this. Okay? So you could still have the same thickness of sole. So you can't just come in and just take every bit of that off. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
What
Yeah,
you
no, you
took off
can't.
here is good and it looks like you beveled it and that's really good.
Yeah,
Okay?
I've been trying to bevel it.
Yeah. And what you might start noticing is these areas will drop here on the
Yeah.
sides, you know, and eventually this flare will come out too. So just keep kind of beveling that back for now and reading these to see if this whole area here doesn't start to drop down to where it'd be more like this.
Yeah.
See? Nope, you did the right thing. I seen that earlier and I went, well, that was good to do that. But now,
Yeah,
see, now you
that's
can,
about 3 weeks. I'm doing it
oh,
every
okay.
3 weeks, and she just seems to grow them quite quickly.
Yeah, she will because see, it's not all growth. What it
Mm.
is this will let down.
Oh yeah, yeah.
See? And so that's why in working with these horn tubules, a lot of times what you do is like, okay, on the ones where you got the foot like this, you know, and you're supposed to have this meat growing here and there, but
Oh yeah.
instead it's grown clear up here, like so. What you do is you bevel that real good, sometimes clear to the white line. You'll come out in a day or two and you'll think the foot grew. What really happened was all this, because it's under pressure, dropped down out of the capsule and made it look like it grew. And so what'll happen is it'll let me show you here. You come out here. Oh, wait a minute. Give me a different color. And you'll bevel it so that this isn't bearing weight here. What's it do? It drops down like that. Okay. So you think it grew, but it didn't grow. It's just that it you took off the pressure. So it all dropped down. See, this piece was up here. You beveled it. That means you took the ground bearing off right like that, right?
Yeah.
And then it will drop down. And so then you come in and you bevel it again up to here and it'll drop down to there. See? And
Yeah.
eventually you work it all and you get the excess capsule out of it so that it all comes back to here again. Okay.
Yeah, so it should sort of level out eventually. It'll stop being so dramatic
Yeah.
if
Oh,
we keep going the right way. Yeah.
absolutely. And like right in here, okay, you just keep beveling that and eventually this is all going to drop down and you're going to see what you're going to see is these growth rings. See how they're pushed up here?
Yeah.
They're not symmetrical.
Yeah.
Okay, what you're going to see is you're going to see this all come back down. Like, let's see if I got it right here. Wait a minute. I need it. Just like it is here, it's going to be like this.
Yeah.
See there? And then your flare will come in too. Okay, so let me undo that. Okay, so you see, even though there's two of you here, you got different things. There's still so much similarities, and it's all the same stuff that you both have to watch for. See?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so um,
I think the next one should be a soul view at least, or the bottom.
okay,
Kind of. Yeah.
okay, so even though you have uh because what wasn't I talking to you? Was it you telling me that you had 2 inches, or maybe that was
I haven't measured. Yeah.
oh, okay. Okay, so what we have here is we have more bulb than we have heel.
Yeah.
And you do have the contracted heels and like that. So now what you have to learn is to you're going to grow the heel, okay? And it's going to push up and it's going to make the capsule bigger and it's going to release the bulb and stuff. What you wind up having right now, let's see if I can draw it in here. Okay, right now
We've got this tiny little heel bit,
you've
and it's
got
mostly
about that
bulb and
much heel.
periopal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to grow this from this here. Okay, allow it to bear weight here, and then gradually it's going to replace the bulb to where eventually you'll have this much heel
This
and
is
you'll
the bit
have
that doesn't seem
this
to move,
much
though.
bulb. Huh?
This is the bit that doesn't seem to move. The heel doesn't seem to grow. Like you say, it will grow more, but it seems to just be
Okay.
kind of stuck at this level.
Well,
I don't do
see,
anything with it. I don't
okay.
trim it.
What it's doing is, what it will do is it adds, you won't see growth coming out here.
No.
What happens is by keeping this weighted, remember I said the wall is dovetailed, so it grows, slides down, but it can also be jammed up.
Hmm.
Okay, so you keep it weighted, and gradually the growth will be added into here. The growth coming from up here that's supposed to come down and push out here will stay up here, and it will allow the bulbs to rise as it does. The thing that needs to happen is some serious frog trimming and bar trimming.
Frog's what I've been scared of. Yeah, I've not
I
touched a
don't
frog, as you
blame
can
you.
see.
Yeah, I
I
don't
haven't
blame
touched
you.
it. It's kind of a mess. Not sure what needs to be done with it
Yeah,
yet.
the frog will bind the whole thing here.
Yeah, I haven't touched it.
Okay. That's what you're gonna have, that's your deal that you're gonna have to overcome.
Yeah, I have been trying
We
to
all
trim the
have.
bars a
We
bit.
I've been there too, believe me.
Yeah,
Because I was told don't trim the frog. Well, it's
yeah,
like this. Don't trim the toe callus. Don't trim the frog. Don't trim the bars. Don't,
don't trim
don't
anything.
do trim the heels, you
Yeah,
know.
it's all the wrong stuff actually.
Yeah, and stuff. So if you can get your frog trimming together, this is going to make 100% difference for your
I think
horse.
I was scared because the frog already feels really small and contracted. I was scared to kind of cut it more.
Yeah, where you need to get it here is especially up in uh well, and it is small and contracted, okay? But it's distorted and deformed, and the frog growth you have isn't doing you any good. And another
Yeah, it's
thing
long and
too,
forward.
you might not even have any, it might not even be real frog. Just a minute here. Hold on.
There's another picture of her soul from a different, like a straight down angle if you need that. That's probably the next one.
Um, See, another thing that happens is when the bulbs are pulled in like this, the
Mm.
periopal on the bulbs will often grow over the whole frog.
I think that's what's happening. I've been looking,
Yeah,
like trying to look at the periope. It's really thick though, and she does not like me trimming it.
yeah, yeah. Well,
So I
uh,
think it is binding the frog, the periople is.
yeah, I think I would start with the apex and really
Yeah,
trim your apex down and back.
yeah, where
And
it connects to the soul, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And then also start trimming your bars down. I know these bars are going to have to come off here and come down here to go about like so.
yeah. The second photo I had trimmed the bars slightly, but you might be able to see better from the other angle.
Yeah, I can tell here that you got in there. That's good.
I tried something, not maybe not as deep as I need
You
to
did
go.
good. You're doing good. See, it takes a while
Yeah,
to, feel comfortable doing this. It can be scary.
yeah,
And but I want you to know something too, that if you nick something and you see red and the horse doesn't even move, you haven't hurt the horse. He'll recover well. Um, that I'm just going to tell you that you cannot be a trimmer without at some point, sometime getting a little close to something and getting a little bit of blood. Okay.
mm,
Um, that's just that's just going to be the way it is. But guess what? If you don't do it, there's no one else that can. And
yeah,
you're better off, and you learn from that. See? You learn from that. It's not something that we would want to do. But the fact of the matter is, you've been forced into a situation where you have to do corrective trimming on your horse when it is the experts that should know and don't.
yeah. I
Or,
don't trust the experts to do it,
yeah,
so here I am.
yeah. So if not me, who?
Yeah,
You know, and stuff, and you'll be fine. Absolute. You're your horse's best friend.
yeah.
Okay, so here we have it. So I'm gonna save the image and flip it over. And you can do this in paint too. Put these in paint and then like this here. Of course, I just got it in my picture program, but that way I'm looking at it the same way, you know.
Yeah.
So this was before and this is
Yes.
after.
After I trimmed my basic trim.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, I would be more at really trimming this apex back here.
Yes, I've not done anything on that, as you can see.
Okay.
Need to learn
Um
that bit.
and uh so and also learning to map.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Uh, I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on. Annotate. Okay, so
They're not quite symmetrical. She's got some differences on each side, I'd say, but it's not too bad.
yeah.
You can
Now
see that actually the forward trim on the inside, the forward flare on the inside now, you can actually see it there on that
now
side.
this is the toe we just looked at that had that,
Yes, the
right?
flaring one. Yes, that's the
Okay,
one.
now I want you to look at this. I want you to look how when you took this down, how it changed the shape of the toe.
Yeah.
See, and that how good that is. That's good. Okay,
It's made
but
it's made the white line kind of unsymmetrical though. The white line's now closer to the edge on the inside than it
yeah,
is on the outside of the foot.
yeah, and that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, because you beveled it too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and stuff. But it would make it that way simply because you beveled it. See,
Hmm.
otherwise the wall would be out like this. You know, it would be less close. So that's okay what you did there and stuff. And so what you're going to learn is you're going to learn how to take these toes down so that they are the actual shape of the foot, because the shape of the foot would be more like this. See that? On
Yeah.
both
She's
sides.
she's like a bit overly. Yeah.
So if you were to, let's say, just rasp down from here to here, across in there, that would change the, because the way the feet grow, like this, down and forward. Okay. Okay. If you uh start, if you were to rasp this down, it would take it up and back and it will change the shape of the toe to be shaped more like the shape of the foot. Like, and over here you can see you've got the sole ridge
Yeah.
that you're dealing with and stuff. So uh anyway, so this is one thing that you'll learn is how to rasp down these feet and shape your toes so that you don't
Yeah.
have to worry about it getting longer. Because when you allow it to get longer, it's going to make them round or square. See? It
Yeah.
changes the length, changes the shape. So we're trying to learn, this is a three-dimensional object. Well, we're dealing with 6 dimensions. We're dealing with a shoe on a foot. So two objects. Remember, got to remember you're always dealing with two objects. And what you're trying to learn is to get this capsule to conform and be shaped to the inner foot and to actually release the inner foot so it can go back where it's supposed to be. See?
Yeah.
So let's okay, so yeah, I know that this apex here, yeah, I think that most of her frog is periopal, and
Mm.
what happens there is that periopal grows over the frog to hold the hoof capsule on.
Yeah.
And so then it chokes out the real frog because all this stuff, that all this corium is like grass. You know, when you cover grass up, it stops growing.
Yeah.
and then you can uncover it and it'll start growing again. Well, that's a
Yeah.
lot of what is going on here. And
Yeah. Because
so
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it doesn't feel like she has a proper frog, really, does it? And looking at it,
Yeah.
it's weird.
Yeah, next time we get together, I'll show you my horse, how I found out that his whole frog was periopal. And he
Yeah.
actually had a good looking frog, you know. And
Yeah.
I found out it was periopal. And what happens, the periopal skin, like the periopal that grows from here will grow and stitch and cover the whole frog stay and fill it up and be a false frog stay even,
Yeah.
you know. And it's all for survival, but you'll learn to recognize that. And so what I would start, and you guys can send me pictures and tell me what you've done, okay? And I will then write back to you and stuff. All right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, I would definitely start
With the apex.
lifting
Yeah.
this off of here. You
Yes.
know, that and okay, so I'm figuring that your true apex is probably about there.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then when we do the bars, we do this. Right now, I'm going to come over here a little bit more. So in reality, this bar should be lifted gently away from the sole right here to where the line follows right here. See that?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
But the
now I know
bars are
that
too
seems
forward as well. But
what you
that's not
what
easy to check. The bars
what
are like too forwards or too wrong angle.
yeah, yeah, because you think about it, the bar is connected to the heel is wrapped around and
Yeah.
shoved forward,
True.
right?
Yeah.
So it shoved the whole bar forward and then it's
Yeah.
growing from there. And so if you don't start removing that, it's just the bars are meant to hold and stabilize the heel pillar here, right?
Yeah.
And so if it's all shoved forward and it's growing from there, it's going to hold it right there.
Yeah. It's going to hold the heel in the wrong place.
Yeah. So that seems kind of scary, but you know,
Yeah. But I want to
you know,
at least
again,
help her. Yeah.
this is a distorted shoe that is binding your foot just like Chinese foot binding.
Yeah.
You know, see how with this bar here, this heel could never straighten out.
Yeah. Everything's sort of holding itself forward,
Yeah,
really.
yeah. And when it's all in its place and everything in its place, that's good. It's stabilizing the back of the foot where
Mhm.
it's supposed to be, you know.
But it's not quite where it should be.
Right. Yep. So, okay. Well, let's see here. Let me undo this here. Okay. See now, see now, again, you've got kind of a forward foot center. That's what happens is the foot, the sole of the foot is just kind of grown out from underneath the foot
Hmm.
and pulling everything with it. So when all is said and done, all this is going to come back. Let's see here.
It should just be more underneath the leg, really.
Yeah, yeah, this is going to all move back. It's just going to kind of all move back. And the sole here, okay, is going to be moving back like that. See there?
Yeah.
Everything just gradually shifting. The hairline, when all is said and done, will be up here. And your
Yeah.
cartilages are going to unround because cartilages aren't round. See, see, her huge. I bet her feet are huge. I bet the back of her foot goes clear back like this. See, even more, maybe. I've seen,
Maybe.
you know, she'll have short toes or steep dorsal wall, and then just because look at it's all curved round like that.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be curved around. Like at least here, it's going to come at least this far. See?
Hmm.
really give you a big foundation on the back of that foot. That's how why these horses are gravel crunchers, you know. And then you got these big heel buttress pillars here supporting the whole back of the foot. See? So yeah, she can have great feet, and you'll learn to trim properly, and you will be able to restore your horse's feet and give her the feet she was always meant to have.
Yeah.
All the building blocks are there
Yeah, definitely. I
still.
don't think she's not really been damaged, at least.
Oh,
It's
not
just
at
kind of
all.
how she's ended up.
Yeah, not at all. Um, let's see. Let's go back here.
Oh, that's
Okay.
probably the same pictures we've already seen.
Yeah. So see this here? This little
Yeah, that's
rope?
like the periopal kind of, someone called it bat wings or like butterfly wings.
Yeah. Well, no, I call it the periopal rope.
Yeah,
All right. And what it is it usually don't look like that. It usually looks like when everything's right, everything's in its place and stuff like that. I'm gonna do it in red. This will come back like this, up like that. Your bulb skin is about that wide. This little rope is only like that.
it's not going to come down then.
Well, what happens is when the heels start to be trimmed out, or also what would happen over there in England is because if her because of the weather and the
It's
moisture, if
really
her
wet.
yeah, and if her heels got high and not trimmed and they kind of collapsed under a little bit, or even
Mm,
from being trimmed low, happens either way. See this little piece of periopal here?
yeah,
What this does, first of all, the bulb skin starts getting wider and going under
yes.
like that. Okay, but this little thing here is a marvel. I won't show you today, but I can show you pictures to where all of a sudden it starts looking like stitches like this. And it winds up being this little rope that goes and it'll grow over the whole, it'll join with the bulb
Join the
skin and
frog.
grow, yeah, it'll grow over the whole frog.
Yeah.
And it's like a rope that's tethering the foot into the capsule to keep the
I have been
capsule from coming off.
I have been trying to like trim it. Is that a bad idea or
Yeah,
a good idea?
I don't think you need to trim it right now. I think
Yeah,
you need
okay.
to do the front of the frog more, and
Yeah.
then just be, you know, growing the heels. It may not seem like they're growing, but they will as you start getting the
As you bring
other.
the toe and frog back, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Now
bars.
Now, I have totally taken this out. Okay. I'm just not going to advise you to do that right yet. Let's do your bars and the other parts of the frog,
Yeah.
and then go a few days and take some pictures, and then we'll decide. We don't want to release the foot too quickly.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
You have more heel that needs
We
to
got to
grow
grow.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do a controlled release
Yeah.
and
Starting at
stuff.
the front, really.
Yeah, and then next week when we get together too, I'll show you guys some more of how the periopal covers these frogs and things like that.
Because I guess Erin's in like slightly ahead where she's brought the front back, but then the back hasn't been released yet. So I need to now
Yeah.
bring the front back and then we'll see the next stage.
Yeah, let's look at a couple more pictures here. Yeah, so you're working on the front, just getting it shaped even
Yeah,
and
building the
getting these down. And
these are all the same before pictures we've seen, I think. Yeah,
yeah. So let's see. Did we look at that?
I think so. Because it was combined in the same picture of the before and after.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, we don't want to take anything out of here right yet.
okay.
Okay. if anything, once you just get the frog cleaned up good, but don't take anything out of the central sulcus here.
We don't want to release that yet. Okay.
No, and we want whatever's there to stay there.
Okay, got
To
it.
keep the heels apart as much as they are.
I will
Okay?
leave the back alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, cleaning up the rest of this frog real good and the bars, and then
Yeah.
send me some pictures and we'll go from there. And then we'll meet next week. Um, we'll figure out a time to get together. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So for now, are there any more questions or anything more that you think we need to cover?
I just don't know if I should do. Is there anything you want me to do with the bars right now?
Yeah, you could. Well, here's what you need to do too. You both need to practice mapping the foot.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. And so I don't have an updated mapping thing. And so uh I will make one for you specifically for this.
Okay.
Okay. I will have it to you by what's today? Monday?
Yeah.
By Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay. This puts me under pressure
No stress, no stress.
to get something done. All right. Okay. So I will have a mapping explanation thing teaching done up for you guys to read, and then practice mapping your feet and understanding why we do that kind of mapping, just to help us learn to trim and to help us learn the symmetry of the foot and kind of where to put our boundaries.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, anything else?
Um,
Um,
I mean, I have all evening, but
Okay.
I was thinking I need dinner.
Well, I need to go eat.
all
Yeah, I
right.
think we need to
So
eat. Um,
yeah, we can wait.
Okay, what I would do is I would get on the, see, I was never a business, never meant this to be a business or anything. And that's why I'm more disorganized than people that want you to pay them,
Mm-hmm.
$umpteen billion for nothing. Uh and stuff. And so my stuff ain't that organized, but you can get on the YouTube channel and you can go like frog trimming or frog stay or frogs
yeah,
or
I'll look
mapping or
I'll look at your frog videos
okay,
again.
okay, and stuff. And that helps explain too why we're not putting that frog on the ground. This
Yep.
Yeah.
that putting the frog on the ground is what causes all this,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and stuff. So okay. Well, I guess I'll let you guys go for now.
Okay.
That's been
Um
really useful. Thank you.
well, hey, I'm looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to seeing your horse's feet change and you both get really adept at what
Yeah.
you're
Yeah, and get
doing
confident with
and
it. Yeah.
confident, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and stuff like that. And so, okay, guys.
Yeah.
All
Thank you
right.
so
Well,
much.
you bet.
That's
Thanks
been
for sharing
that's
your
been
horses
brilliant.
with me.
And thanks
But
for your time.
you bet. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Hey,
Talk to you next
and
week.
Yeah.
if you message me and I don't respond, it's because I really didn't see it. Okay?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I tell people to be a squeaky wheel.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, guys. You
All
take
right.
All right.
care. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Have a good night,
bye-bye.
Mom.
Bye.
Bye bye. Night night.
Oops. Wait a minute.